How we doing, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Getting Jiggly. I'm Will, and today we're still trying to get situated in the chair, which is what I'm running a little late. Today we are going to try, we're going to try 20 strong Nemesis again. So if you watched my last playthrough, just a caveat there, it was the multi-handed multiplayer playthrough, but there was a small rules mistake. During the activation step, I should have been bringing the aliens that were in the nest into the world, right, into the map, or the basically the cryo chamber specifically, and they should have been chasing me around, in addition to, well, unfortunately, the queen and the adult, which is really what was causing most of, like, I guess my brain was just trying to figure out how to get away from those guys, so I just completely like misread a portion of the rules. But either way, this is probably a maybe not the best time to have done this. I just realized as I did this that, of course, Chip Theory is also doing their playthrough at the same time. They got busy last week, haven't been able to stream live. That's fine, Shadow. That's fine. We did a lot of stuff. Appreciate your donation earlier last week, and you can watch the coming streams that we're doing now. With that said, let me go ahead and flip over the camera to the HDMI. We'll do a, I don't know if I'll do a brief, I might do a really brief rundown of the game this time. Also, let me move this microphone, so I'm going to hit. All right, hopefully that doesn't mess things up. Sometimes when I touch that microphone, it'll start causing random feedback. We don't want random feedback coming back to you guys. Also, somebody, of course, is doing the lawn out there, so that might come back in. There's my drink. That's probably come back in. And I forgot to start the music, so this is just, it's a Tuesday after an entire week of streaming for charity. All right, here we go. We are set up for a solo playthrough of Nemesis 20 Strong. So one key difference, of course, is you do not have your pip dice. Your pip dice themselves do not change. If you get equipment and things like that, that will change them, but the actual characters themselves don't change. Your main dice is out here on the board as your player pawn, your character that you're going to be moving around. And that's really what we're doing. We're going to be exploring. We're going to be flipping these over to see what's under them. We will activate them if we have the required things to activate them. And our entire goal is to activate the engine rooms and maybe the generators, and find us a escape pod and escape, right? In order to win, at least on beginner mode, which is what we're going to be doing, you need to get at least 7 points. Now, the way we get those points are objective cards. If we wanted to play, you can also play just as your first play, just to try to escape, which is what I did on the last playthrough. So basically here we have 2 different objectives. We can choose one by a certain point. I think it's at the halfway mark. We have to choose an objective. Yeah, when we flip this over, we have to choose an objective. So right here, escape with 4 hit points. We get a point in the game if there's 3 or fewer undefeated enemies across the active area and nest stack, 2 points. At the end of the game, comms room, mainframe, and turret are active, 2 points. At least 10 dice are in the dice pool when you escape, 3 points. When you escape, no other escape pods are active, and at least 1 engine room is inactive. So this is like a good one if, like, in a the semi co-op, right? Because you're going to be deactivating an engine room that somebody might need. At the end of the game, the antidote is in your inventory. That's 4 points. Like, that's like almost an easy way to win. Just get the antidote and never use it. And if you're defeated, we lose 1 point. Although if we're defeated, it's game over. Game over, man. Because we're the only player. The second objective we have is full life, 1 point. That's the same. All heroes escape before the dial reaches 3. It's 2 points. So me. At the end of the game, the armory, canteen, and med bay are active is 2 points. Destroying the nest is 3 points, which means we'd have to find it. At the end of the game, there are 5 or fewer undefeated enemies, 3 points. This one wanted how many? 3 or fewer. So this one's slightly easier, right? And then escape dial is 4 or higher is 4 points. Same thing, defeated. -1, although for us it would be minus everything. So we have these 2 options. I guess we will kind of, when we get through, we'll kind of check and see where or what we've activated already. So noise check is there. I think we're ready to go. Hopefully I make less rolls mistakes this time than last time, but of course, it's the nature of live streams, and well, technically being my second playthrough. Feels a little bit like the Forbidden series. I remember Forbidden. I know you have to go on objectives and things like that, and the tiles are flipped over. It's been a while since I played Forbidden. I know there's a Forbidden Legacy coming out. I'd really like to play that with Audrey. So I may look into that. I don't know. I forget which publisher is doing it. So I may or may not have a contact. All right, so here we go. We're going to take one of our actions. So our actions is move, attack, salvage, trade, or other. My soldier here, I was debating between the soldier and the, what was the other guy I was looking at? The bounty hunter. The bounty hunter is cool because he basically gets to move for free. So I kind of liked him because basically whenever you take a move action in which you roll 0 dice, so you can take a move action and not roll dice. And basically in order, so say if I was here and I wanted to actually activate that room, you have to take a move action to activate the room, right? So basically I could, if I was in here, I could take a move action, roll no dice, and then activate that room. What it allows the bounty hunter to do is if you do the same thing, instead you can move 2 spaces, but you don't get to activate the room. You can see what's under it. So I was really debating him because I felt like he would be able to get out there and explore a lot more than anybody else. All right, so we get 4 actions. So of course, our first action, of course, is going to be to move, I think. So to activate this, when an enemy rolls an attack in this room, deal fewer damage, does not apply. Okay, so that's because they're all going to spawn in the cryo room, so it kind of gives you an ability there. So we're going to roll, and because his ability means that we can add green or yellow to our attack, and they can come from the exhausted area. I think I want to use all the first rounds. I just want to get all the greens and yellows in there and probably never recover them. So we're going to go ahead and move. We really don't need to move that far. Our strategy is 3, so we'll see. 1, 2, oh, this might fail. 3, we failed our movement. Wow, maybe I should have rolled 2 dice. So our first movement was a failure. All right, we're gonna up it to 2. Let's do 1 green, 1 yellow. All right. So that is a crit. We don't want to crit. Crit makes noise. So we're gonna re-roll that. 2. There we go. That's better. All right, so we get to move 1. Should we go after weapons first, or should we go after the objectives? I think we want to get some weapons. So the armory, the canteen, the escape pods are actually in here as well. So we'll go, let's just go down 1 here. All right, so this is the canteen. So the canteen would give me 2 items. And as an activation, I can recover up to 4 dice. This is really good. I can either spawn an enemy with me, or I can make a noise check. I'm just going to go ahead and spawn a baddie. Why not? To activate this room. All right, so it is a creeper. He has 4 health. If this enemy is not defeated, deactivate the closest active room to this enemy, which would be the cryo chamber, actually. No, can I deactivate the cryo chamber? Because there's no activation cost. I guess? Or maybe he would, well, I mean, the closest is technically the room he's in. When this enemy is defeated, if the self-destruct sequence, right now we are at 10, is active, the hero closest to the enemy must discard 1 item, which we don't have any items yet. We have not picked them up, but we do get to add 2 items underneath of there, so that's something. So, this is the one part that's kind of weird. I would probably use cubes. Again, you're not supposed to add anything beyond, but I mean, it's your game. You do what you want. I would probably do cubes so I don't have to keep lifting up the cards and then just draw a card from the deck. The only problem with that is you're not getting the, like, if we get multiple rooms, we would have them spread all out. So it's more of an operational thing. All right, so that was our second action, was a second move. So our third action, we're going to go ahead and attack. So we can roll up to 5 dice. And again, we may take 2 and 2 of those dice added to it. They can come from the dice pool or the exhausted area. So this is not the dice pool, and this is not the exhausted area. This is in play. So that is the active area. So I want to get rid of him. He's got 4 hit points. So we want to get some greens in there so I can roll up to 5. So let's just go ahead and get all of our greens and all of our yellows in there. That's going to make a lot of noise. That's going to make it'll get rid of them, but that's going to make a lot of noise. So we don't have to re-roll everything here. We have to re-roll everything when we move. All right, so 2. All right, there's our last one. 3. All right, so we did get all 4. So we do get to defeat him. So he is gone. When I defeat him, it doesn't matter. I didn't have any items, so the creeper did not get to steal anything from me. So we have resolved those dice. That was my 3rd action. Apply dice, defeat. All right, and we get one more action. So for our last action, we will let's. That's a lot of dice to scavenge. That's a lot of dice. So when we want to scavenge, we basically have to roll all of our dice, which means it can make a lot of noise. I feel like I need to get some items. I feel like that's very important. So we're going to do it. We're going to do it. Roll everything. For every crit, we can recover a dice, but unfortunately there is none. Luckily, we only got 1 crit. So that actually worked out very well. All right, so we do get it. Uh-oh, where'd my card go? We're taking the ship with us. Taking the ship with us. All right, so we're getting this misprint card. So now I'll permanently know what this is until I get my final copy. All right, so we got a pistol. Uses, has 3 uses. Pistol. On your turn, deal 2 damage to an enemy in your room as long as it would defeat this, be defeated by this damage. So this was the one thing I was unsure about the weapons. I never got any clarification on it, but after reading the weapons, I think this makes the most sense, is that you would apply your attack first, and then you can then apply your weapon, right? So that's very similar to how it was working in Ether Fields, right? When you discarded the cards. So if, for example, on the Creeper, I'd only gotten 2 hits. I would have my 2 hits after my 3 strategy phase. I could then use my pistol to do the other 2 hits to defeat him. Or even say if I got 3 hits, I could use the pistol to take him out. All right, so we do have 1 item. We have our pistol here. We do also need items to be able to do certain things, or like when the creeper comes out, we discard them. To get this, we need, I think, 1 of each, if I remember correctly. So that's that. That was our 4th action. So now we are going to the... Where's my phases? Did all that. All right, suffer damage, no damage. After effects, no after effects. We do need to exhaust all of our dice. I guess I'll put them over here for now. So now we have lots of green dice in there and yellow dice to use for our ability. That is a good thing. All right, enemies move. There's no enemies. Clean up, discard defeated enemies. I should have discarded him now. I discarded him a little bit early. And then roll for noise. So you have to use your highest die that you have to roll for noise. Did the extra life week end at 811? I will have to look. I know we've gotten some donations since then, but I'll have to double check. I think it was 811 though, David, if I'm not mistaken, because it would have been whatever it was last night. So this morning we did get a couple donations in. I think maybe $50 this morning came in. All right, so we go down to 9. Our time track goes down. And then this is the step where I was missing during my last playthrough, which is right here. So on the activation step, which is where we are, we're starting the activation. There's this other page over here that's black instead of white. So it's kind of weird. It doesn't look like it fits. So right here, it says, if enemies are still in the nest stack, which we don't have one right now, then you would deploy them to the cryo chamber. And that's what I was failing to do. So they can get added to the stack in a couple different ways. Usually it's from a room effect. So at the beginning, you really don't have any aliens coming out at you unless you specifically ask for one, like I did here for the canteen. So right now with that canteen, we're kind of starting this one, which I'm fine with. Ticks down, set noise level. Yeah, so we're good to go. All right. Our noise level is still 0 because we have not done any crits. Hello, not going to stay. Nemesis isn't my fave. No, I understand. I fully understand, David. Thank you for coming out. I appreciate it. Like I said, I just wanted to get a second play. This was, again, I didn't want to have to try to learn a new game for today's lunch stream. And I know the campaign for this launch today. Unfortunately, I didn't realize Chip Theory was also going to have a stream at the same time. And I wanted something, you know, I didn't have to learn and could probably be pretty quick to finish. All right, so we're back. We have our 4 actions. Oh, so we get to do our recovery. So our recovery is at the beginning of our turn, not the end of our turn like usual. So we will recover one of the yellow, I guess. So let's go ahead and move. I guess we'll just keep heading south. We'll move down here. Oh, that was the noise die. Or should I do a green? Let's bring a green back instead. Unfortunately, my recovery is only 1. I gotta figure out how to get more recovery. So there we go. We succeeded on 1 movement. So I'm going to move here. Escape pod A. There we go. So this is what we need to get out of here. Escape pod A. Basically, both engine room A and engine room B are active. So that is the only way to get this online is we need both engine rooms. And this was something else I didn't realize while playing is that right here, these 2 little F signs are the batteries. I think escape pod A is the cheapest, which is nice. We found this one. But you need to have 2 of the energy generators online or I think the energy, there's like energy cards, but I forget how to get those energy cards. Although I'm wondering if before I left, I probably should have scavenged before I left. So actually, this will be my second action, which means this would still have been in the dice pool. So let's scavenge for that second card. Let's get that out of there. All right, so crits mean we get to bring dice back. So 1. Oh, luckily it was just 1. Up 2. There were 2. The green was a crit. We had 2 crits. So we get to bring 2 dice back. Let's bring back 2 yellows. I got to leave 2 yellows and 2 greens in here at all time. Unfortunately, because there were 2 crits, our noise level does go up by 2. There we go. And I am using the regular dial this time. I didn't feel like bringing my stronghold out to get my stuff out. So this is all the stuff they sent me. The dial on the new campaign is blue. So that's nice. I like the metal dial, but I actually like having the different color dials too. So I'm kind of like, what do I do with my metal dial? All right, and now we do our move, so we end up here. So we know this is an escape pod. We know we need. Oh yeah, I forgot to get my item. Oh, there we go. That's what we need. The flamethrower. So this was our saving grace last time. Supporting Kickstarter in a timely way is a good reason for a second play. Yeah, I was debating whether I just do all the 20 strongs this week, so I don't have to do brain aneurysm again. And that may be what I play. Because what is that? It was Tuesday. Today's Tuesday, right? So Wednesday, Thursday, I just play the other 20 strongs. Maybe Friday I play another 20 strong that I haven't played on the channel. That's probably what's going to happen. I don't know what to play Wednesday night, though. I don't know what to play Wednesday night. More Labyrinth? I'm having fun with Labyrinth, man. As an action, roll already dice. Yeah, and then what I can do is I can deal damage all damage to all enemies for every hit. And then I can increase the noise by 1 to return any misses. So this is what I had to use basically to get rid of the adult and the queen, because it's really the only way to do a lot of damage if you missed, right? Is because you just have a ton of dice and you just toss them all. The key is getting all your dice back. All right, so first action was there, second action was there. Third action, I guess we're going to move again. This time I better do 2 yellows. So that is a crit. We do not want a crit. That is a hit. We are good to go. All right. So we will move here. So this is the armory. Ooh. So we can increase the noise by the number of players, which is 1, or the turret is active. I'm fine with increasing the noise by the number of players to get 4 more items in here. 1, 2, 3, 4. We have 4 more items in here. All right. And then we do have to increase the noise by 1. That's fine. All right. I'm a big bad soldier. I can beat up on some alien scum. 20 strong is in a way like a tiny epic, different games. Yeah, it really is. And that's something, Shadow, I'm kind of debating, right? I have a lot of tiny epic games. I also have Micro Pirates just came in, right? So Destroy Games originally had made a couple big games, and then they decided to go small box games. And they kind of are supposed to represent a different game in the same genre, right? So I have like Tiny Epic Crimes, and then there was micro something, which was kind of like distilling liquors for the mob. So you got like both of those kind of like Scarface 1920 to a small degree and distilled to a small. So it's like you can have a lot more of the small games, but do they really give you that same feel of the bigger game? So this is kind of the same thing. And I mentioned during my first impressions. So Chad, you can go watch those. Of course, they're up on the channel as always. But during my first impressions, I kind of said, you are missing the flavor text in Ether Fields and Tainted Grail. So I don't know. I like these because they're also small, so it's easy and portable. If you get the storage box, you can get this as an add-on. This allows you to transport one deck, and then it comes with this little drawer to put all your dice and your other stuff in, right? So you have this, you can just, take that with you and go places, right? When you travel, you just take your favorite one. So I think that's kind of nice. They also have a 3, I think it'll fit 3. I think it fits 3 decks plus the dice. So that's kind of cool. All right. So we are in the armory. That was 1 was there, 2 was there, 3 was here. This was our 3rd action. So for our 4th action, do we just get more items? So I can hold a maximum of 3 weapons and 3 items. No, I think for my 3rd action, let's go ahead and try to move and see what's here, because we need to find stuff. That was a miss. That's a hit. We're good to go. All right. So we're going to move here. These are the servers. Do I need the servers? Mainframe terminal, which I think the servers might be needed for the mainframe terminal. I can't remember. All right. So servers, 2 items. Discard an energy charge, which I don't have any. I think they're in the item deck. Or at least 1 times a player's generators are active. We don't have any generators. As an action, discard 2 items of the same type, then select a room on the ship that matches the type of discarded items. Either activate it without resolving its activation requirements or deactivate. Ooh, so this would come in handy for the one objective where we need to deactivate a room. Also, it allows us to activate rooms where we're not even there. So like we can activate our pod. Well, I just thought about that. We can activate our pod without needing the rest of the stuff done because we just activate it. Ooh. So we need to find a generator and then we come back to the servers. Okay. Remember that the servers are there, guys. We got to remember that the servers are there. All right. That was my 4 actions. So we're going to go through our engagement. Resolve, suffer damage, no. After effects, no. Exhaust dice, yes. There we go. And then enemies move. There are no enemies. Clean up, discard defeated enemies. There are no enemies. Roll for noise. So here's the fun part. All right. So that is 1 noise. Almost about to have a baddie show up. I think I did this wrong as well. Or do I have this on the wrong side? I have it on the wrong side. When the dial reaches the difficulty rank 1 plus the difficulty rank, flip this card. Yeah, so we're doing normal difficulty. All right, so we take this down to 8. We get to recover 1 die, so we'll recover the green. So we need a, what do we need? We need a generator. Generators are the gears. So we're just going to roll 1 die so we can get there. So all games are nice since I go out a lot. That's actually why I hate about dice throwing. I can't introduce it to people because the boxes are too big. Yeah, like they don't really have a, oh, that's a crit. No. We failed our movement. All right, so the 2nd action, we're going to try to move again. Nope. Hi. Stay in the dice tray. All right. Succeeded on that movement. Woo. All right. We're going to move here. So that's the comms room, which we do need for this objective, but not this objective. This objective wants the armory, the canteen. We have the armory and the canteen. Yeah, I don't even think we're going to do this one anymore because we already have 2 of 3 of this one. So I feel like I want to work on this one, which needs the med bay, not the comms room. However, we can do a noise check, or the monitoring room is active. Once per turn is an action, you may increase noise by 1 to recover dice up to the dial's value minus the current noise. So the dial's value right now is 8. So it'd be 8 minus 5, so we'd be able to recover 3 dice. This gets worse as the game goes on because your dial's going to be a lot less anyways. So like the beginning of the game, this is nice, but later I don't think it's going to be as nice. I don't want to do that noise check though. I would guarantee an alien. So we're gonna put the comms room back over. I can look at these at any time. So the person that went to that room can look at them at any time. I'm just not going to. I guess we'll go one more over to the left. So that was 1 failed, 2. So we're on our 3rd action. Now that is a success. We will stop there. Go here. Generator B. There we go. So generator B. Discard an energy charge or +2 to the nest. I want this online. So we're going to make that get online. We're going to add 2 to the nest. I don't really have a place for the nest. So you guys can't see the nest, but the nest is up here. That means that one of those is going to spawn in the cryo chamber on the next turn, right? So he'll start chasing me around. Now, in order for us to get our points, we want to find the med bay and destroy the nest. So I do need to find the nest and the med bay. And then the end of the game, there are 5 or more. At the end of the game, there are 5 or more undefeated enemies across the active areas. And so it wants me, for my objective, it wants me to bring out more into the nest stack or undefeated in the room. I don't think I want to leave the undefeated here. I think I'm just going to keep adding to the nest stack. All right. So that was 1, 2, 3. So that was our 3rd action. And then we do get 1 item here. So I think we will go ahead and try to get that item. This may be a bad decision because I may get the noise may go up and I don't have another action. No, I think. Once return as an action, you may decrease the dial by 1. Yeah, let's go ahead and do that. Let's do that instead. I don't want to do this because if this noise, it'll automatically bring out a alien, and I don't have another action to fight him if he popped out. So we're going to decrease by 1, so that takes that down to 7, and then we can bring back up to 6 dice. 2, 4. We'll do these 2, 6. We'll leave this one here. We're going to have another green for our attack later, so we're good there. All right, so these are our dice. All right, so that is all 4 of our actions. Now we move on to our recovery phase. Or not recovery phase, I don't know what they call it. What is this phase? The resolve phase. I knew it started with an R. All right, so we exhaust our dice. I took the green out so that way I wouldn't have to roll it, but I forgot I have blues I'm going to have to roll. No aliens. We don't have any alien stuff, but there is a blue die. Woo, that is a 0. That is good. All right. Now we are doing our activation stage. So activation, decrease our timer. So we are at 6. Recovered dice. We get 1. I'm going to recover the blue. And then spawn us an alien. So we have another creeper hanging out up here, trying to get us. All right. So, since I can deal with the baddie now, we're going to go ahead and salvage. This may be not a great idea. Why is the pod flipped down while armory is flipped up? So in order to flip them over, you have to activate them. Is the only way to flip them back over. So that's what we need to do. So we're basically going around, and as I go into the room, if I want to do the challenge, then I go ahead and do it, right? So in this particular case, I had to add 2 to the nest, which is good because my objective is wanting that anyways. If I don't want to do it or can't do it, so for example, the pod, I need to have the engine room A and B active. I don't have any engine rooms active right now. And I also need to have two generators online. I currently only have one generator. So I have to find me another generator. I can come back over here, right? Because that's going to allow me to then activate this without needing both engine rooms online. But yeah, so that's just how it works. This could be very bad. Two, I guess it doesn't matter because I'm already going to accelerate. Two. All right, so there is one crit. So that means I do get one die back. You go back over here. I do get the item. So I can grab my item here. This is a recon drone. You may take salvage actions in any active room up to 2 rooms away. You may take trade actions. Okay, so I can salvage up to 2 away. So I could, if I got here, I could salvage here, or vice versa. Unfortunately, we did exceed our noise level. That means we do get a friend. Hello, friend. Hello, friend. Oh, it's just a little larva. When this enemy moves, it moves up to 4 rooms. When this enemy is defeated, if there are 2 or more dice applied to it, this enemy is banished. So that's how we're going to completely get rid of them. So we are going to roll. We'll roll these 2. And then when taking actions, you may add to 2 green or yellow to this roll. Yeah. So we took them from there. So we have 4. That is a crit. That is a crit. That is a normal. All crits have to apply. So let us reroll just these 2. Ooh, that's a miss. Oh, I might have just messed up. Oh, we missed. That hurt. So that was our second action. So here's our third action. Got a crit again. Nope, we don't want that. Oh, geez. Let's add, I want to make sure we do this. Let's add 1 blue. So that's, okay, so there's 3. So we defeated him this time. Unfortunately, it did also cause some noise to do it. So, wow, that was one tough larva. That was one tough larva. Like he had some kind of like armor on or something. All right, so that first action was scavenge, second action, third action. That's my 3 actions. I have 1 more action. So we will move again. Use the blue die to move. That's a crit. Don't want that. There we go. We need, what do we need? We need another generator, which is this. So we're going to go up here. There we go. We're going to add 2 more to the nest. 1, 2. I'm good with adding them to the nest because, again, I need that for my objective. And I should have no problem defeating guys, right? I can roll up to 5 dice at a time. So, larva using Darden. Yeah, Pokemon. He's dealing with his Pokemon. All right, so we have completed all 4 actions. So we're going to suffer damage. No damage to suffer. Oh, hang on. I do want to add our handy dandy item there, though. Go ahead and get us an item. There we go. Suffered item, after effects, no exhaust dice. It does mean, unfortunately, we do have a blue in here that we're going to have to roll for noise. Move enemies 2 rooms, so he's going to want to move towards me. He's just moving along. Clean up, discard the dice, and defeated enemies. So he is banished, so he will never come back. We'll throw him up there in the banished spot. Clean up and roll for noise. Roll for noise. That is some noise right there, buddy. All right, so we have got some noise. All right, we're going to go to 5. So I got like, if I want to complete this objective, I've got to... I've got a couple more turns, which is fine, right? There's 3 here, 4. So I need, how many I need? I need 5. 5 or more. So I've only got 3, 4 on the board right now. So I kind of got to let that creeper just run around with me. Or get more in here. I still need the med bay. Med bay is Med bay is one of these. And then I know I need to come in here and activate this, the servers, because then this will allow me to, because I have a generator online, I'll be able to discard 2 items, and then of a type, which would be, unfortunately, my 2 weapons, to activate this room. Which means I can escape. I can technically, right now, I can escape, right? Because I got 2 generators, and that's what I need for escape pod A, is 2 generators. But I would like to get more points, because right now, I would get 1, 2, 3. I would actually win. I could win right now. I would get 7. So I can win right now. But let's see if we can... Let's see if we can find the other things that we want. All right, so recovery. So I need the med bay. I also need to get back down here. So where do I go? What do I need to activate this? 1 generator is active. Okay, I got 2 generator active, so I'm fine. Let's go down here. Let's get here. So we can at least get our stuff online. And then maybe I'll go look for the med bay. Yeah. All right. So we want to go 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. Yeah, we got to go 3 spots. So we need to roll 3 dice. 3 dice. That is 3. That's 3 successes. Hate using blue for that, though. Really do. All right, so 1, 2, 3. We're going to go here. We can activate this because we have met the conditions, so that is good. We are still at 5. We've not been hit yet. All right, so this is on. Then as our second action, goodbye weapons, unfortunately. Goodbye weapons. So we'll just put these on the bottom of the deck. That does allow us to activate our escape pod. So that is good. All right, so that was our second action. This allows us to scavenge here. So let's we'll do a salvage action, see if we can get a new weapon. We get to return 1 die. Bring this blue one back. Actually, it doesn't matter if I bring the blue one back or not, because we're going to throw 3 in there. But that does create 1 noise. Well, 1 plus difficulty rank. Wait a minute, where's my... What is the actual rank called for my difficulty? Rank 1, so basically 2. When it gets to 2, I flip this over. All right. So, we do get to take an item from the armory. Oh, med kit. I don't need the med kit, but okay. We got a med kit. Maybe, actually, hang on. Maybe I should have done that first. Now that I think about it, I should have done that first. That makes more sense, right? Than just using this action, because then I could get rid of something that I don't want as much. So I want to keep my flamethrower. So let's say we did that first. Let's do a little timey-wimey retcon there, because, you know, that's just how my streams go. Lots of timey-wimey retcons. All right, so we got that there. There we go. Keep our flamethrower. Might need it. The queen might show up again before we make it to the pot. All right, so that was my first action. Our first action was move. Second action was that. Third action was that. He moves 2. But he won't attack. If he gets into my room, he won't attack. He only attacks if he's already in my room. Where do I think the med bay is? Unfortunately, everywhere that the med bay could be is kind of around him. He would be able to get to me. Right? This would be the only one that he couldn't get to me in. And that would require 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 movement. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, 5. No matter which way I go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I don't want to go through him. All right, want to find the med bay. I haven't gone here yet, right? I haven't gone here yet. All right, so let's just roll 1 and see if we can get in there. He's gonna catch up to me anyways, so I'll just go ahead and move. There's the med bay. So noise check 2 or surgery is active. I can afford two noise. I can afford 2 noise. All right, so we're gonna do noise check 2. which is 3. Okay, I could afford 2 noise, not 3. I cannot afford 3 noise. So 1, 2, 3. I am going to take a hit now on this turn. So that sucks. Although this now, oh, not from here. Wrong deck. This deck. Although there will be enough for the people. Now I'm running to the escape pod because now I've got all the objectives I think I can do. Unfortunately, I will have 2 guys trying to beat on me on the next turn. Unfortunately. That sucks. All right, so, or no, only 1. The creeper comes into my space. He doesn't attack. Suffer damage, so he is going to try to attack me with a yellow and a green. Oops, that is not a yellow and a green, Will. That's a yellow and a green. And the green hit, so, all right. So he hit me for 1. Doop. And then 2. After effects, exhaust dice. Doop. Enemies move 2. So we have 2 creepers in here visiting with me. 1, 2. Clean up. Discard defeated enemies. There aren't any. Roll for noise. 0. We are good. No noise was made. Now, one other thing is if the baddies were to roll a crit, you still do noise. They don't get 2 damage, but they still give noise. All right, now, to get out of here, they get to take an attack of opportunity. The question is whether or not I care. I don't think I care. We're just going to try to escape. There's the adult. There's a big boy coming out. The adult, or I guess big girl. I think most of them are female in Aliens. Although they do have the kings now. They do have the kings. And I guess there has to be males in the society. Otherwise, I forget how insects work, right? You have a queen bee or a queen ant, and they make all the babies, the eggs. And oh, there is one male, right? There's one male that fertilizes, and then everything else, all the workers, everything else is females, if I remember correctly. My entomology. What entomology do I know? All right, so we get to recover 1 die. Let's go ahead and recover the blue. We're going to be running because the only thing they're going to attack of opportunity is they're just going to roll a yellow die. And I'm not worried about a yellow die. So we need 1, 2, 3 to get here. So we're just going to roll a guaranteed hit. We're going to roll guaranteed hits. We're escaping. We're escaping. We're getting out of here. So that is 3 hits for us to escape. No crits. Good. They each get to take an attack of opportunity with the leftmost, which is the yellow. Neither one of them hit me. I go 1, 2, 3. Then I take an action. Action. If there are no undefeated enemies or other heroes in this room, you may launch this escape pod. Place this card and your stat die next to your hero card. Any defeated enemies occupying this room are discarded. So we are going to. I could have used my flamethrower. I could have attacked. Could have used my flamethrower, but I don't want to because my objective says leave baddies out there for the other people playing, right? Because again, this is a semi-co-op game. So that has happened. Now let's go ahead and see what my final score was. Oh, I forgot to tick this down 1. Let's go ahead and make sure we do that. Just make sure we're not cheating. Escape with full hit points or higher. Now I think about it, I should have kept that med kit. I don't know why I didn't keep that med kit. I forgot that was an objective. I wasn't going to attack anybody anyways, so I should have known that. Whatever. All right, med kit. There we go. We're going to heal back to full. So there we go. Med kit discarded. All right. So escape full hit points, 1 point. All heroes escape before the dial reaches 3. We did, so that's 2 points. In the game with the armory, canteen, and med bay, that's 2 points. Destroy the nest, no. In the game, and there are 5 or more undefeated enemies across the whole thing, that's 3 points. Escape before the dial is at 4 or higher. It is at 4, so that is another 4 points. So we ended the game with 12 points. Now, that of course would be enough points for the harder difficulty. I need 9+ objective points, but you cannot look at your 2 objective cards until you escape the ship, are defeated, self-destruct sequence initiates. Yeah, basically the rank 4 difficulty is just really hard. We could have done rank 3. We would have succeeded there. However, rank 3 would have been 3, 4 at 4, which had just hit. This would have flipped over, which still wouldn't have been that bad of a deal, right? Because we were ending the game anyways. So, all right, that was actually pretty quick. I didn't know how quick this would go. I'll go ahead and do a second first impressions just because this is a crowdfunding preview. I want to make sure we give you guys all the information we can give you. So again, components, talked about it last time. It's chip theory game. Chip theory games components are going to be great, as they always are. PVC cards, nice dice, so forth. The dice will be different. Now the campaign's launched, I know what they're going to be. They're going to be frosted dice once they hit that stretch goal. The design is slightly different. So like on the Tanglewood, it's got like these little viney things on it. So it will be slightly different on this one. Again, you can go out to crowdfunding, check that out. It'll have the foil once that stretch goal is unlocked. Chip Theory knows that they're going to unlock all these stretch goals, so you don't have to worry about that. You're going to get a good quality product. Next is the mechanics. I like this. It's kind of neat, right? It's the exploration, going around, figuring out what you need to find and get. It is luck-based, right? And all of these, all the 20 strong games have some amount of randomness and luck, right? Are you going to roll the right dice that you need? Are you going to flip the card that you need? And so forth. The mitigation in this one comes from your standard strategy, right? You can re-roll dice and things, and your options on the card, right? Every card has multiple options to flip it over except for the escape pods. So I think having those types of mitigation help eliminate not any of the randomness. There's still randomness, right? Because my first playthrough, the queen came out as the very first card, and I shuffled the deck, so I knew she was in there, but she ended up being on top. That amount of randomness meant that basically for the most of the game, we're just running around trying to get away from her because we weren't strong enough to take her out in one hit. We would need a weapon that would allow us to apply additional hits. But do I care? No, I really don't care. I mean, that's what the game is. That's what the game's meant to be. And in this one, it kind of is a little bit more thematic, right? Kind of like with Final Girl, where that randomness can cause problems because this is kind of an escape horror type game, right? I'm trying to survive and get out of here before the ship blows up or before some alien decides to put an egg in my stomach and burst out through my chest. So yeah, mechanics. I like the mechanics in this one. Difficulty. So now that I'm doing this one again, I don't know if it was the multi-handed or just, again, too many games having to play, first playthrough, whatever. I don't find this one too difficult. I think it's just a matter of using your actions efficiently. Again, I did do some timey-wimey retcon stuff because I wasn't doing actions effectively, but then I timey-wimey retcon that back out too, just at the very end because I forgot about my objective. So I don't feel like this one is too difficult to figure out. And it makes sense because it could be multiplayer, and you don't want a high difficulty 20 strong game if you want to play this with your friends who don't play 20 strong, right? You want to keep the rule set a little bit lower. Fun at 2, don't know, did not play this one at 2. I did enjoy the multiplayer, multi-handed playthrough I did, so I can say that was enjoyable. As a solo experience, I liked it as well. I think this works pretty good. I was worried that in a solo experience, I wouldn't have enough movement and actions to really get around the board and find everything. I did get kind of lucky. I didn't find the engine rooms or any of that. That would have probably taken a couple more turns. But I think all that would have done is probably changed what I was going for. This one was escape. Oh, this one didn't even care what the dial was at. Okay, so I probably would have just switched to that one, maybe. Figure it out. But I think that would be where the challenge in solo comes from, is you're by yourself. So getting enough move and actions to find everything that you need to find and then get them flipped over because you've already accomplished the other one is where I think that part will come in, where more of the challenge may come in. And again, it's randomness. I won today. If I were to play this again tomorrow, I may completely lose. Who knows? Last thing is the theme, right? So the theme on this one is good, right? I like the Aliens movies. I like Alien. Nemesis, I can't say per se because I haven't played Nemesis yet. But again, that theme is Aliens, right? I like the aspect of going through your ship. It's dark. The aliens are chasing you down. In my case, I didn't have to run away from the aliens, but like technically in the first playthrough, that's what I was doing. I was just running around, having them chase me as I was trying to find the rooms and the things that I needed. So that's very thematic in that regard. Also, very much like the movies and the board game, that theme of sabotage and finding and noise is incorporated very well into this, because you're doing those same things, but just like on a smaller footprint. If you want to play the semi co-op, you've got that available, right? Where you can try to hurt people or affect their gameplay. If you want to play it fully co-op, there's nothing stopping you from doing it, right? You would just look at any of the cards that come out, remove all of the ones that have a bad thing, like make sure you leave with, like right here, people out there, or just don't play with the challenge cards, right? Just as a whole, everybody needs to escape the ship. That's your win goal. So therefore, you're really cooperating to make sure that everybody can escape. Anyway, guys, that is 20 strong Nemesis. There is a link down below if you want to go to the Gamefound, which is live today. They are raising money. They'll be going for a while. I forget. I think the all-in new pledge, if you want Nemesis and Tainted Grail and Etherfields, is, I think it was like $80 or $72, somewhere around there. If you just want to pick and choose, there's that option as well, where you can pick and choose. And then they do have a pledge if you don't want to get another core box, so you don't want to get extra dice and extra dial, you can get just the 3 new boxes. That's also available as an option. There's also an option if you just want to get the core box of Nemesis, which is what we just played. If you want to watch more 20 strong playthroughs, because that's probably what I'm going to be doing for the rest of the week, make sure you like, subscribe, bell notification to know when I go live. But until next time, guys, peace.